See you around. And now I think it's time to take some time out. You smell that? I know that you've been longing for a while now. Ooh, don't run. I got so much for you. I know you feel the love it's in the air. Don't move. You got a lot to do. And if you walk away, it won't be fair. Can I keep you around? Just let me in, I promise to be worth it. I got so much for you. I know you feel the love that's in the air. You got a lot to do. And if you walk away, it won't be fair. No. Can I keep you? What's going on? What's going on? We want to talk about this. We want to get with this game, free 99. The game I would tell my daughters what women can learn from car dealers. Okay. So what I see from the female perspective, as far as what I see women out here taking these L's. Where you taking the L's and where you got it good. Let's just talk about how you got it good. Okay, the women now, they are very spoiled. They have it good. They have an army of simps, a navy of simps, Marine Corps regiment, Air Force of simps to freaking go through. I mean, nice guys that's willing to bend over backwards for you to a certain degree. You got it good. You got it good. It's a lot of guys that's spending a lot of bread and compensating. So with that being said, a lot of times women don't want those guys. And then they give themselves, such as the case of a car. Okay, looking at, when I talk about cars, I'm talking about women. Okay, so a lot of times women give themselves away to whoever they give themselves away, and that's where the problem starts right there. You know, long time ago, men gave their daughters away. Men were for the approval of who their daughter was going to be with, who their daughter was going to marry, who their daughter was going to date, all of that type of stuff. And, pretty much over the years, men's spines got ripped apart from their backs in various forms of fashion, and that is not so much the case. It's literally just open season. I remember my ex-wife, her mother telling her, she felt some kind of way because I didn't come to her to ask for her daughter's hand in marriage. Well, I ain't gonna go into that, but okay, basically that is like, how things are. It's just pretty much, I'll just say, it just wasn't customary. I mean, that would be the first thing I would say. That was not necessarily customary. I mean, even if my ex-wife, her father was alive, I mean, I would have came around around him just as much as I came around her mother. But I still wouldn't ask her father because I just wouldn't do that. That was not something that I felt the need to do, or nor did I really think that I had to. It just wasn't. It wasn't that type of setup. You know what I'm saying? But I could go to a woman's father and do that if I felt like that's something that I wanted to do. And a lot of people still are kind of like that in other countries, but in America, that concept is almost good as gone. And it's like pretty much the onus is on the woman to choose the best partner, and then basically from that's just how things are now. The thing is that it does help if you're being a car salesman, because pretty much I'll just look at it like this. Look at women pretty much, look at yourself as a car salesman. Okay, so your your father your father is finance manager, uncle, brother, whatever the case may be. Um, your father is the finance manager. You're like in Islamic culture, or religious culture. It's called the wali, is the person that you pretty much you are the intermediate. The wali is the intermediate between you negotiating for the woman, or the nisa in Arabic. Nas the man, Nisa the woman. So if you are trying to court a particular Nisa, okay, you got to go through the Wali, not Wali the robot, okay, not Wali the Disney movie or whatever. Wali, like Wali. Now, it's things you can learn about just as much as I've not being. I was not raised in a Christian household, but I learned a lot about Christianity. I learned a lot about the Bible. I have the Bible on PDF and also paperback, as well as the Quran and also PDF of the Quran. It's things you can learn about these religious texts, no doubt. And then a lot of times people don't even know about Islamic culture or practices or anything like that. And it's like pretty much a lot of game in Islam. Pretty much uh a lot of times what Islam does is it's really the same stuff that's in the Bible. It's like the Old Testament type stuff. But it's just like pretty much a lot of things that were taken from the Bible, practices. It's all one from another, you know. It's like, you know, one takes from another and another, and it's, you know, just added to a lot of Quran. You could just look at the Quran as the Bible 3.0 with like added additions. It's like faster, it's more performance. A lot of these secret occult societies, they study Islam in private. In private, even a lot of the presidents, you can find them with pictures with fezzes on that says Islam on it. But they tell you, you know, in public that, you know, we hate those Muslims or we hate those ragheads or whatever the case may be. But in secret, they study it and they get the power and the intelligence and the knowledge from it to be stronger and be elite and be, you know, millionaires and billionaires. In private, they study all kind of stuff. Just imagine if you're broke and you're trying to learn stuff. Imagine if you're rich, well, how much time you actually have to learn things, you know, and research things in private, you know. And another thing they do is like, you know, they talk about, you know, this Pharaoh was just these Egyptians, these pharaohs was just these evil people that you shouldn't, you know, try to, you know, look at, you know, like a lot of the religious Abrahamic religions, they say, oh, these pharaohs is so evil. These Egyptians were pagans and all of this goofy shit. But, you know, one of the greatest power centers in the world, they not only take from Egypt, they actually follow the customs and they rule with those very customs. And I, you know, just smart, you know, people like me just sit back and watch and just, you know, just be like, oh, okay. The sheeple does not understand, but okay, whatever. I understand. But it just goes back to, you know, back to what I was saying about Islam. That is the practice that is still today, where you know, it's people that don't practice that, but pretty much you go through usually the brother or the father to actually court this bride. Okay, to negotiate. Actually, the wali is the negotiator, if you want to just say it. I'm talking about cards here. And I'm also talking about, you know, basically courtship, female, male courtship, or whatever the case may be. So with that negotiation, the wali, the brother, the uncle, the father, cousin, okay, you negotiating what she wants and what you're capable of, or what you the wali is the finance. He's the finance manager. The woman is the car salesman. The wali is the finance manager. Or even in modern society, or, you know, 40, 50 years ago, 30 years ago, the father was the wali. The father was the finance manager. He is the person that he goes over your credit. He goes over your, you know, he asks you questions. What school did you go to? Where do you work? You know, what do you do for a living? Okay, that's no different than you know, what in Islamic culture the wali is. It's the person asking you qualifications, like in, you know, Islamic things. It's like, how religious are you? How much of a Muslim are you? Do you pray 5 times a day? Do you fast during Ramadan? And have you been to Mecca? Have you given zakat, which is charity? Have you you know, all confessed your basically you have to basically give some type of homage to the Prophet Muhammad. Those are the like pillars of Islam. So they'll ask you stuff like that, and then Like, do you pray? Typically, I'll ask, do you pray? Basically, you know. And the thing is that they'll also ask you exactly where you work, what do you do, you know, where do you live? You like, oh, I live down by a cabin by the river. I mean, or whatever the case may be. They're gonna ask you where you live, because all of these things determine your qualifications. Because see, here's where a baby OG like me, you know, basically I seen a lot of stuff, you know. You know, I lived, I seen the rise of teenage pregnancy. I literally saw it before my eyes, from grammar school to, you know, junior high to high school. By the time I was in high school, a lot of you saw more women with babies in high school, and then by the time I was a senior, it was already quite a few young women that already had children at home that were like 1 or 2 years old. I've seen the rise in the normalcy of teenage pregnancy in America before my very generational eyes. So I saw where, you know, fathers were, you know, not in the household. It became a situation where divorce became common. I've seen all of this, you know. I've lived it. Okay. So I see where basically grandma and grandfather, they got too old and they passed on, and, you know, dad passed on a little bit too early. Like, for example, my mother's grandfather, he died when my mother was a teenager, you know. But then, you know, she got a pretty good stepfather, so, you know, it wasn't a full loss, right? So, um, you know, it went to a situation where just basically the father was not really in the household. It was, you know, exit stage left household, you know. So that left the woman to be the what? Wali, or negotiator, the finance manager. Like, for example, uh, with Tina Turner's mother, it wasn't even her mother, it was actually her aunt. She was the negotiator for Ike Turner, and she was just happy with a couple bundles of cash, you know, but she wanted something. But you know, she probably didn't think too much of it. But just think, if Tina Turner had a father, you know, if she had a father to call, that you know, if she was getting abused or whatnot, if she had a father, because a lot of times, dude, if they know the father is no male around, you know, it's pretty much just like a pimp with a host. They know she's vulnerable, so, you know, they could do a lot more than if they had to face somebody with a shotgun or arsenal of weapons, or even just take weapons along. You know, somebody that's an actual ninja, you know, they'll just come out the shadows and just, you know, squeeze your balls, like, you know, to the point where you damn near about to die, and get you to see the point real quick, and you know, have some fear in your heart, you know. I'm giving away my secrets. You know, I shouldn't have done that, but I mean, the point being is that, you know, a lot of times now the mother is the finance manager, and the mother pretty much is not even the finance manager anymore. You know, the mother now is like, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Everybody gets a car, because I mean, pretty much that's where it's going. That's where it is. You know, It's no the woman don't she has to be the qualifier. She has to be like the onus now is pretty much because if a woman doesn't have any person to be her advisor or her finance manager, she has to be the negotiator. And unfortunately, a lot of women have made some bad negotiations. They have, pretty much been very terrible negotiators. And it comes back to the family. The family is power. That is where your power base is. I'm getting out of the hotel room and I'm going to go live with my family because it's like whatever the case may be, I just help them out, and then I get out of this freaking rat trap of a freaking situation, and deal with my house, and fixing it up, and trying to get another house and all of that. By exit stage left of this high price situation that I got myself in, that I talked about earlier. But your family is your power base. Okay, so a lot of times women try to get away from their power base. And I've seen over the years living in the Chicagoland area, a lot of women, they will have a boyfriend in secret and private. And a lot of times, the older guys, they know about this. They know what I'm talking about. They'll have a boyfriend in private because they do have some type of form of family, and they can't their boyfriend that they have in private wouldn't get approved by the family. They would be downright damn near embarrassed to bring this Negro around. And what happened I'll tell you basically, I'll give you a couple stories, okay? So this was 2008, okay? If you probably somewhat of a research and net or whatever, have some type of ability to do research, you could probably find these stories, or at least one of them. So 2008, I was in a flea market, and I knew all of the computer guys that was in the flea market. We were literally like freaking like The Wire, but we're just techies and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Computer guys. I mean, because basically we were all connected with each other. So if somebody needed something, and then we didn't have one person, if I didn't have something, I could go to somebody, get a quick wholesale price, and then come back to my booth and sell it. They could do the same thing for me. We all pretty much was like click type. All right. And the people didn't really know it, but maybe a few people knew it, but we literally all knew each other, had each other's number. We all went to each other's houses, and we would buy computers from each other. I mean, that was just how it was. You know what I'm saying? It was like being part of a coalition. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, from that coalition, it was a brother that pretty much, cool guy. One of the members of the coalition. His sister got involved by some homosexual. Because here's the thing, like, I could be like, I can give a million talking points and go deep in the rabbit hole. Because here's the thing, not all people are, honest and forthright or whatever. It's the evil side of the spectrum of things that I can go with. Let's just say I can go to the right on some things. So you have violent homosexuals, okay? I'm speaking to women here. Like, you have some violent homosexuals. Like, it's actually more common than you actually think for a homosexual to be violent. Not just be like, all right, I'm just going to, get some pussy, and then I'm going to have the rights to your refrigerator, your remote to your TV, and pimp your Wi-Fi out and all of the other stuff that you provide. We even trade, I'll break your back out, have you calling on the Lord, and I get this couch, I get this, the other side of the bed and all of that other stuff. It's guys that if you take that away, you might get murked. They might stab you in your goddamn throat. Especially probably in Chicago or places where it's really, really cold. So, for example, a woman gets mad 2:00 in the morning in Chicago in the wintertime, in the dead of winter, 20 degrees below zero. Get out. Get all your stuff out. He can go flip out because a lot of times guys that's on the edge like that, or anybody that's on the edge, they can flip out. And it's happened. Or just even think about that for a particular scenario. At the very least, the dude might just be like on some like, I'll just beat your ass type shit. Because you literally putting him out in the cold, he damn near might die. Because he ain't got nowhere else to go. I mean, when you're dealing with any individual, men or women, that you're dealing with them in a situation where you kind of somewhat taking advantage of them, or the advantage is more towards on you than them, and they have nothing. You kind of like, it's like you're a lord or you're a baroness, and you're dealing with a peasant. Well, that peasant would just be like, he's already on the bottom. He might be like, well, I don't want to leave this lofty position without exercising some sort of violence, right? So back to 2008, one of the computer bros, let's just say computer bros, his sister that was in real estate, she was a budding entrepreneur. She got involved with a homosexual, a violent, which turned out to be a violent encounter. She broke it off with the dude, and he had a pistol. He came to her and shot her in a car, basically. I ain't gonna say what else happened, but that's what happened. Okay, you have to Google that or find that out, but I mean, that happened. That actually happened. And it's talking about middle class family, sister, budding entrepreneur, and then they gotta bury her because she balling. She got BMW. She got money. She flipping houses. I mean, she dealing with a homosexual that got some good D, and he got violent because she broke it off. She probably was giving him money, giving him more than any woman probably ever gave him. He felt some type of way about it, shot her up. Another scenario that happened right around that time, it was like, I don't know what the hell the universe was, going on then, because this was before I even was into astrology and whatnot. This back in 2008. It was and the chick's name, I believe her name was Nyla, I believe. I'm not sure. Something with the N. But this particular woman was similar. She had a very good job. She had lived in a condo by herself in the suburbs of Chicago. And she had a secret boyfriend on the side. And he also was on some, broke ass shit, homosexual type stuff. But the encounter turned violent, right? So come to find out, they, shout out to the detectives. They always, the number one motive for crime is basically a sexual relationship that went awry. So immediately, the most basic detective, they search whoever the love interest was, whoever the person that got killed, who they were, basically in a relationship with. primarily sexually involved with, or whatever the case may be. Then they check friends, and then they check bank accounts and money and stuff like that. That's typically what happens in a murder investigation. So in most cases, well, not most cases, but in a lot of cases, they checked whoever the love interests were. And it was this, basically this lady's boyfriend. They found out that he dumped the body somewhere, her body. They grilled him and got the information. And yes, this happened literally around the same time, 2008. These women get these little private boyfriends because, like, for example, I mean, guys like myself, if a woman, she wants to kind of like have a relation, like say my daughter wants to have a relationship in private because they know daddy doesn't approve. Well, what daddy will do is just, I'll just rewind the tapes. I'll play them some tapes. I'll play them the actual video of that encounter. I'll play them some, videos so they can put them up on game because a lot of times death scares. You gotta scare your children to death sometimes. You gotta let them watch those rated R documentaries sometimes, at an early age. Because see, like my grandfather used to say, there'll be a car for a dead boy. So if I ever did stuff like run out in the street and then he called me, he'd say, well, ain't nothing, it'd just be a car for a dead boy. And that used to resonate with me. That was just, man, that'd be like, God damn, I'm 6 years old. I was 7 years old. I was petrified of freaking death. I ain't even got older yet. I mean, I ain't trying to get up out of here. So that used to worry the hell out of me. He say, that was a car for a dead boy, a car for a dead girl, because the thing is that, yeah, it's people out here, man, that will not only, like, what I'm saying, because chicks be complaining about, man, he did this, and this, and he just was a fuck boy. You wish you was with just a fuck boy. It's motherfuckers that's not only quote unquote fuck boys, homosexuals. What about a violent fuck boy? Put anything and put violent on that motherfucker. How about violent fuckboys or violent homosexuals? What I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? If he just fucked you, you got a nut, he got a nut. What you complaining about? Because you wanted more? Well, I'm going to talk about that, but, basically, it's women that fared worse. They broke it off. They didn't want to break it off. Like, for example, that series on, I think it's Netflix, yeah. I think it's called You or something like that, or whatever, what to do with because it was like a whole bunch of memes when this show was like, I think it was on its second season. It was pretty popular. The little white dude with the dark brown hair that works in a a bookstore. And he stalks his women that his love interests or whatever. Like, man, you could be dealing with a dude like that, man, that don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? You might, man, be talking to a dude that been trying to talk to you for 5 years or some shit, been stalking you on the internet. I mean, it's like you don't know who you're dealing with, but you want to have a relationship in private, right? You don't want to tell your dad who you're fucking because you want to be a little whore by your in private or whatever. I mean, here's the deal. Men only are scared of other men, really. We don't care how you yell at us and all that. We just know you, after we still on you, you just gonna call the police. And you know you're gonna call the police. That's why you're doing it. Because I gotta go back to Pakistan. That same scenario, a woman yelling in the face, she gets stole on, ain't no police to be called. Because that's also, see, I'm gonna also say, because yeah, I mentioned this on a live, but I had to had to, well, I ain't gonna mention that, but the people that know, they know, my Patreon subscribers. But a part of like Islamic, another thing with Islam is you can't Islamically the practice or whatever, or it's in the Quran. Being 50-50 is not it's like not so much forbidden, but it's not the common practice or religious practice, right? You have to be 100%. The woman's money is her own. You have to pay 100% of the bills. Now, some women because they made a TikTok with an imam that was talking about that. But here's the thing: it's no free lunch. So another part of that is when you get out of line and you be disrespectful towards your husband, he has also the right to basically put you in place physically. He can actually whip out a stick and give you a whooping. That's also in that. And then so the thing is like, but back to my whole point is that men they're not scared of women. Okay, now there's some women that can kick ass. Don't get me wrong, there's some motherfucking bad super soldier ass women. Don't get me wrong. But okay, on average, men are not scared of women. We just hear you talking, you talk all hard. You yell, fuss, and all fight. But it's a reason why you do that. When we still on your ass and you fall to the ground after you hit us, you're going to call the police. Or here's the thing, you're going to call somebody. You're going to call your mama, you're going to call your brothers, your cousins, somebody, and be like, this nigga done hit me. Okay, well, what did you do before he hit you? And then they probably hang up on you because they hit their fucking boyfriend first or whoever they are with, and then they expect not to get hit. But that's a whole nother topic. But the thing is that men are not scared of women. We just pretend that we do. We just let you talk and yell and fuss and shit because, basically we know it's full of fuss. It's just you're being emotional. You're being a little bully. Really, is being a bully because you only do that because you're able to do it. And a lot of times with men, if you're with a woman, it's like that. You need to leave her. And a lot of times, women like that, if you do leave her, they probably want to like burn your clothes and do all kind of stuff because they're crazy. And it's like you done stuck your dick in crazy because it's like, why would you, scream and yell at someone and expect to be in a relationship still with them and think that you can just, give them some head and apologize and then do the same shit over again. That is a fucking crazy person. It's a lunatic. But the thing is that, men obviously are not scared of women. Okay, it's just like nature. Men know how to put women in check very easily. So it's like dealing with a man is dangerous. Okay, like for example, if any woman dealt with me, they're dealing with a freaking ex-military, jujitsu, freaking experienced jujitsu practitioner / also state wrestler, high school wrestler, and street fighter. You could add that to the mix. So literally, you sleeping with a cold-blooded, crazy killer, right? So it's like to say that I would never try to kill a woman because I don't give a fuck about how much money you got. I never did because I'm just not. I never been that way because my mother was, college educated. She spoiled me. My aunt was, she was, very, very high class, and my aunt spoiled me. My grandmother. I've been spoiled by women, so I don't need to have anything from women. I know what high quality women are. I know what low quality women are. So I mean, but just being said, just all of the stuff that I just said, right? And you got guys that might know way more than I do. You got people that black belts, man. You sleeping, a man is supposed to be a killer. Okay. He's supposed to be able to defend you, or at least know how to shoot a gun, right? And I know how to shoot a gun. I had an armed security license. I've shot guns. I mean, I've had plenty of guns. I definitely I can aim and shoot and hit my target. I got my armed security certification by hitting my target with a semi-automatic and a revolver. So yes, all of that being said, just imagine the app. I'm not even, well, I'm above average, but it's people that just highly above average. Like you got people that, I mean, Navy SEALs, special forces. Like I remember one of my customers was special forces Marine. This dude's crazy as hell. I'll tell you the story of this dude. Let's go back to the finance manager. this dude's this dude's the craziest father I probably ever heard of. This cat, his sister, I mean, well, no, his daughter got involved with a guy who was playing football in college. She went to college, and things didn't pan out for him to go to the NFL. Only a small few individuals are able to make it to the pros in any sport. Okay. So he, in part of that relationship, the sexual tryst, they had a boy. Okay. So it was my customer's grandson. So long story short, his grandson went to go visit the father. I ain't gonna say where. But he went to go visit the grandson, and it was a situation that happened where the father did not want to bring the son back home. He was like, basically, F you, I'm keeping my son, Prior to that, he told his daughter when she goes down there to visit the family, years prior or whatever, take every picture that you possibly can. And he knew why she told her to do that, but she didn't. And long story short, again, basically, he had to go down there with one of his special forces buddies with guns. He kidnapped his basically grandson's father's mother and gave her the phone to call her son. And she was like, basically, these guys is not playing. Bring, his grandson to him, And, basically the, guy brought, his grandson, and they went back to, Chicago, and, basically that is, the type of shit is, it's like, I mean, that just, I mean, this is true. This really happened. True story, true facts. So, I mean, that being said, like I say, imagine this chick, right? She didn't have no dude that was a freaking ex, basically special forces guy, right? Special ops. The dude would have just been like pretty much punked her. She wouldn't have been able to get it. She would have to call the police and all that other stuff, get the freaking entire U.S. Jurisdiction to get involved with getting her son back. And maybe he might have been one of those guys that just was like, because it's guys that you actually have a baby by a person, and then they'll just kill the kid because they don't even care about the kid. It's because they can't get you that, pretty much they'll just kill a kid, like, type of stuff. It goes really, really, really far down the rabbit hole with this violence type of situation with breakups and all of that type of stuff. And it's like, basically, I say all that to say that, men pretty much are very, 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 very violent. It can be very, very violent and can be very evil just as much as women can be. And it's like, it goes back to, basically the final part is qualifications. What are you qualified? Like when I go, last time I went to go try to buy a car, well, I had cash. I was gonna pay cash, but the car wasn't. It was it's like a 2003 Range Rover or Land. No, it was a Land Rover. Actually, no, it was a Range Rover, but the engine was blown. So I was like, no, I can't really deal with this. I can't, because this is like freaking fixing up a house or some shit, like for a few months. No, I just backed up off of it. But let's say I was going in there to buy a 2020 Range Rover. I would go in and talk to the same guy and the car salesman, and I would have to, just before I even was gonna pay cash, I had to give him my ID, and saying he had to make a photocopy and whatever, so for records or whatever, and basically it'll be the same process, and I have to fill out an application. I have to put where I worked previously, phone numbers. I have to list some references. I have to put my social security on there. And they have to run my credit because I ain't had no damn cash to buy no goddamn 2020 Range Rover. So they had to run my credit. And I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't have been able to get no fucking Range Rover. I promise you that. Or just about any car because, my credit stinks. And nor do I want that, So, no. So the thing is though, what would it take to qualify? What would it take? What is your value and what would it take? I mean, that's what you gotta ask yourself. I mean, what would it take to buy you? You know what I'm saying? And what is your value? Are you a used cash car? Are you a vintage car? Are you a 2005 car, which is probably what type of car are you? Like 2005 car probably be like maybe, depending on what it is, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000. I mean, a 2005 Corvette probably might be about close to $20,000, $15,000. You wouldn't even be able to get a loan for that. You would have to be able to pay for that with a credit card or cash, because the banks don't even, they won't even like back that. They won't give you a loan for that. But let's say, I mean, whatever the case may be, you're a car that you can't get financed or whatever the case may be. Maybe you're a buy here, pay here. Let's just say buy here, pay here, but you're used. Because most women are used. Okay, most women are used cars. Unless you're a virgin, you're not brand new. Okay. So, being a used car is still, a lot of used cars, you still have to finance them because they get quite expensive. But then when someone comes, like a guy comes to buy you, what typically is what happens is and this is where women fuck up, you give the dude the car, You don't even check the license. You know, you don't even ask. Well, you do. Women do ask, "What are you trying to do? Are you trying to lease, buy, or are you trying to? What do you want to get married, or what do you? How many kids and all that type of stuff?" Yeah, they do ask that, but you ask that, but then you know, because it's like if a buyer, which men are buyers, if they ask for that, you know. You know what I'm saying? And they're not qualified, it really doesn't matter. But I mean, what's going on is that you giving the car keys up and then giving the car away, not checking the license, and not filling out no credit application, not even seeing a proof of funds in the bank. And then next thing you know, this dude driving this car for 9 months, 6 months, 6 years, and then he give you the keys back like, I found somebody else. I found this newer car up the street, and then you get pissed off. You want to kill him. You want to kill his baby mama or new girlfriend or whatever, his new car. You want to destroy his new car, and the car ain't did nothing to you. She just another car like your old ass. She just got new. She newer with less mileage. That's it. But you want to motherfucking come cut her up, cut the tires up, shoot her up. But she ain't nothing but just a car. He just wanted a newer car with new mileage and just run the same script back. Get the car keys, get the new car, spin the wheels, put some gas in it, pay for insurance, maybe not even pay for insurance, ride dirty, That's what we call it here. If you ain't got no insurance, you ride dirty. Maybe you just want to ride dirty or whatever. And it's like you get pissed off because you done wasted, quote unquote, in your mind, 5 years, 6 years. But that was part of the deal. You set that up. That was part of the negotiation. Because you're the car salesman. You set that up. You get this free car here. Here's the keys. Go on and ride out. Like, I remember my first car that I financed with my dumbass was a 2004 Mustang. The dude just gave me the car. I ain't even asked for. I asked for a Mustang, but he just gave me this car. Like, I ain't even choose nothing. I don't even think I walked outside to look at the car. He just showed me this car. I'm so geeked and so amped up to just get any car. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take it. Signed me up for a high interest rate. To be honest, I couldn't believe how I even got approved because I was just working at UPS. I was making like freaking like $100 a week. I was going to college, and my credit stunk worse probably than it does now. So I don't even know how I was able to get it, but they done doctored up something or whatever to get that loan through, and I got the car. So what is that? What am I saying? Basically, I mean, they took advantage of me because that's another side. You got some women that are very good car salesmen. That's another side of the coin. I didn't say all women that have a problem, but it's some women that do understand how to sell themselves, But yeah, in this case, yeah, I was the one that obviously got hosed in this situation. But it's a lot of women that I see, quite a lot of women. I would say more or less a more lower class and even middle class women. I've seen get taken advantage of as far as things. So they'll, give the car key up, no license verification, ID, nothing. Just don't fill out any credit application to get to show any qualifications. Then don't even put no cash up, because see, I mean, going back to the whole Wali and or the finance manager, the part of is the Islamic principle or whatever, and a lot of other practices do this too. You have to pay a bride price or a dowry, you know, and while he negotiates that, right? The father's like, I need 10,000 camels for her, or $10,000, or 10,000 cows, or whatever the case may be. He negotiates what it is for his daughter. You know what I'm saying? So you're a terrible negotiator because your daddy wasn't around. Your grandpa wasn't around, so you ain't got no game to talk to no men. You don't have no practice. Your father is the practice for talking to men. That's all you women that don't talk to your daddy. Your daddy's still alive, and you know him. Well, you got no practice. You say, oh, he don't call you, and this, that, and the third, and then you grow up to be that woman that don't never call, that don't call men first, or if they don't call you, you don't call them type chicks. And then now you got no practice and wondering why 50 years old and a spinster and all that other stuff, because your practice, even though he might have not been in the house, you pretty much the person that you could have practiced on or talked to get some understanding toward men, you didn't want to talk to him because maybe your mom spent you in your brain to think that your daddy wasn't nothing, but it's other things that was involved that she didn't tell you, and she don't tell you till she's old and compromised, because now we going into the couch time. Now I'm floating around in your head and you're in the couch now you're going into certain cognitive or kind of like mental behaviors that mothers do to compromise their daughters. Like it's literally mothers that actually compromise their sons and daughters, because it's even and it goes back to like jealousy or whatever, where what I was talking about with the father that possibly might throw his son or daughter over the bridge just to get back at the baby mama or the ex-wife and shit like that. You got mothers that are kind of like mommy dearest, or kind of really evil or mean mothers that they're bitter at their baby fathers or ex-husbands or whatever, that they actually will try to compromise their own children, and steer them towards basically down the wrong path on purpose, just to be like, you know what, if you should have been here, he or she would have done better. But they led them down the wrong path, knowing that they did it, kind of just to make them like literally a case study for I told you so, or just because they're just whatever, it's got mental problems or whatever, Munchausen syndrome. I'll tell you a prime example of Munchausen syndrome. This just recently happened, like a couple weeks ago. 85 octane chick in Chicago. She was getting into it with her baby daddy. So she made a post on Facebook that her baby daddy took her son. And she put a picture on there. It's like, have you seen this boy? He's missing. And then, under the comment section, she was craving all of this attention. And she was like, the baby daddy had him or whatever. Or basically, I don't even think she said that. She was like, prayers for my son, basically. People were commenting what happened or whatever. And it was just like somebody had kidnapped the little boy. Baby was like 1 year, like an infant, basically. So come to find out, one of the news reporters, local Chicago news reporters, was like, well, the police are questioning her. She's saying one thing, and basically is contradictory to what is actually happening. So then, after I think a few hours, about 6 hours from that post, they showed a mugshot of her under arrest because it come to find out through asking questions and whatnot and applying pressure, she basically concocted this police call that someone kidnapped her child, but she was just basically trying to get back at her baby daddy one way, and then also trying to get attention on social media. Okay, thus the reason that's Munchausen syndrome. So, I mean, I say all that to say, yeah, it is actual parents, mother and father, in this case, mothers, single mothers, that will literally send their damn daughters off. Send them off, I say, basically. And then, after about 45 or whatever, the daughter is pissed off at her mother because she realized that her mom is just an old shitbag that literally, sent her down the wrong direction. So that does happen. Okay, that goes down, right? So it's like going to the car salesman aspect. I mean, basically, a lot of women, they just don't care, low self-esteem, because a lot of that happens. Your women that have their fathers around tend to have a higher self-esteem. Okay, also women that play sports and shit like that. It helps your self-esteem. So it's like when you got low self-esteem and all of that type of stuff, then a lot of times, yeah, you'll just take me for a ride, yeah, and then we know how that goes, monkey double backflips and all of that stuff, and she's head over heels for this guy that she gave away for free 99. Now, don't get me wrong, I ain't opposed to nobody giving away a free car. I love free cars. I mean, no homo. Some of my best friends just, they had a car hanging around. It was getting tickets. I got a car for free. And I told him, I said, as soon as I get rich, man, whatever car you want, man, I'm gonna buy it for you. You know what I'm saying? I done gave my sister 2 cars. One car I gave her because she was kind of down on her luck. I had 3 cars at the time. I just gave her one. Okay. Then another situation, she got in a car accident and got injured real bad. Gave her another car. That was like 3 years ago. And then I got down on my luck and I had no car. But I mean, the thing is that if you giving yourself away, you gotta understand what you're doing. You on some old nun type shit. You just giving yourself away. You better be content of what you're actually doing. If you gonna give yourself, you gonna be Cars for Kids or some shit like that. You want to be a non-for-profit. You want to give your car away for no profit, basically for nothing. Because you're not getting anything from it. Then you better accept everything that comes with that. You better have no fucking complaints about what that dude is gonna do to you and how he gonna ride you and all that other stuff, if that's what you want to do. But a lot of what happens is women are bitter as hell after they get, pretty much rolled around in for about, 3, 4, 5 years, 3 months, whatever, and wonder why, because you gave yourself up for free. So, I mean, that's all I have. I mean, I said a lot. I mean, I'm pretty much this is pretty basic, and basically, man, just if you really care, talk to your dad, call your uncle. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Get some game, get some understanding. Ask him about your current boyfriend. Get out the shadows, because see, if something happens, they don't know where your boyfriend lives. They don't know who your boyfriend is that you seeing. And if you get harmed, they ain't gonna know. Only the you don't want the detectives to find out where your body is, because you ain't tell nobody. Because a lot of times guys get spooked. Some guys, they get spooked. Most of them, if you got, somebody come around, if their intentions is to cause you harm, you bring somebody around, have somebody come and visit you, keep your relationship out the shadows, then, that person that might possibly cause you harm, when they come around somebody, another ruffian, they'll get spooked. They might think twice, like, oh, well, she ain't an easy Vic as I thought she was, if they're on that. So, I mean, this is all I got. I mean, it was fresh on my mind. I just wanted to put this out there. I know you chicks gonna do whatever the hell you want to do anyway, but this is actually content, like, in case, I don't know, like 20 years from now, my daughter wants to get some game. This is for her.